Good evening, folks. How you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, also known as Mag. Yes, we are back with another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. Let's see who's in chat. Gozzo was the first one here. He was nice and early, 15 minutes early. Good evening, Gozzo. Hope you are well. Gozzo's finally got his PlayStation 5, so I know he's very happy about that. So congratulations, good sir. I've got that game to give you on Friday, so you can play that on your PlayStation 5 as well. Danka, good evening. Good to see you, sir. Chaotic, hello, lovely. Let's go. Hope you're feeling better, because I know you weren't very well over the weekend, so hope you are well. Good to see you all. Let me know what you've been up to. Obviously, I can't do the show alone. Flame, good evening. Hope you're well, buddy. Good to see you. I'm feeling miles better, thank you. Good, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Obviously, I can't do this show by myself, so please give it up for my co-host who knows the most. It's the one and only Mr. David Jones.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you. Even if you're in chat, you're all doing well.
Yeah, there you go. Exclamation Dave in chat. We'll basically show your appreciation to Dave. Hopefully, we got some very funny clips from last week's show, obviously, with me dancing around and certain words being used in innuendo. I am going to say this now, which I thought was really funny. I got offered a copy of Big Helmet Heroes the day after the stream.
You got to play it now.
I've got to play it now. I haven't accepted it yet, but someone's offered it me, and I was like, how funny is that? So I don't know whether they saw the talk show or not. But there's plenty of TikToks about us talking about that said game, which went down rather well. So there you go. It's very funny. So if you didn't see last week's show, go watch it because it's a very funny one. So there you go. Anyway, what you been up to? What you been playing?
Oh, I've been played a few things since last week. I played a bit of Elden Ring NeightReign, which we'll talk about more later on. But it was a tech test weekend just gone, so I managed to get into that. Carried on a bit with Stalker 2. Getting ever closer to the end. I think I was looking at a walkthrough just to work out where I was and how many missions I actually had left. I think I've got 6 missions left. So I don't know how long those will take me, but I don't get around to playing it that much. Mostly weekends. It's probably going to take me a few weekends still to get through it.
Right. Okay.
But I'm kind of at the point where I do just want to finish it. A bit like I got with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It just goes on a bit too long for me, and I hit that point and it's like, well, it just bloody end. So I kind of lost track of the story a little bit, losing track of who the characters are, because so many of these sort of characters that get mentioned all have a name that starts with S. So I end up losing track of which one's bloody. So I would be quite glad to finish it. So there's just enough stuff I'm enjoying about it. So it's not too much of a chore, but I'm that close to the end now. Gonna sort it out. And then apart from that, I had a quick blast on a walkabout mini golf in VR with my friend on Sunday, because that's a great game to play co-op wise. I'm playing that quite a few Sundays. Good fun just to play a random mini golf in there, or on most of the courses. There's like an option where there's a little sort of puzzle sort of to follow. You pick up items, give you clues to follow around the courses, and each one you complete gives you a different style of putter. And they're just quite good fun to do, actually. Thoroughly enjoying doing that. It's definitely one of my favourite VR games. That is awesome little game.
Okay, I'm going to say, I'll tell you what I've been playing. I haven't played that much, but I've played a few things. But before I do, let's say Phantom, good evening. Phantom says, oh, Dave's got a new background. He's actually had it a couple of weeks now, since before Christmas. It's just that we were having a few little tech problems with it. But now we've sorted the internet out. It's all good. It's working well now. Now he's in his VR space. It's all fantastic. Dave Johnson says, boo! Don't know whether that says he's booing off stage or he's trying to scare us. Fanta Dave, evening, gents. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you're well, Dave. More Daves here. Can never have too many Daves. So I played a couple of things. So I'm obviously still playing Dynasty Warriors. I'm like on the last chapter of that now. So I think I can't see it happening this weekend because I'm really busy, or next weekend. But sometime in the next couple of weeks, I will finish that. I've been playing more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I'm really enjoying. I played the new Astrobot level because apparently there's 5 new Astrobot levels coming out every Thursday, and the first one came out last Thursday. I'm going to say I was kind of disappointed with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really odd because they've said there's 5 really challenging levels, and obviously the last couple have been time trials, have been quite difficult. And I completed this on my second go. So Dan Game Tank, who's not going to be here tonight because bless him, he's not very well. It took him 40 attempts. So either somehow miraculously I've got really good at that game, which I won't believe that for a second, or I was just lucky. But
you became a pro gamer. Fair play.
I'm not a pro gamer, but I just thought it felt too short. I was like, oh, so within like 5 minutes I'd done it, and I'm like, that's it. And then the next one comes out on Thursday, but I'm wondering if they're going to be more difficult. So we'll see. And then I've had a bit of a throwback because obviously everyone's getting ready for next month with 2 Point Museum coming out. So I delved back into 2 Point Hospital and kind of just carried on from where I left because I haven't played it in ages. So I was like, do you know what? I never finished. Like, I had the last couple of levels. So I've just been sitting there on the odd Sunday while I'm doing other bits and pieces, playing it because it's that sort of game you can drop stuff down and change stuff and just casually do it. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to finish this before next month. But there you go.
Cool.
Gozzo says, getting ready for debug event this Friday. Yes. I spoke to 2 of the team actually today. So I think things are coming along nicely with their event on Friday. For those that are going, I will see you there. Not so sure I'll be there right at the start because I think it opens at 12. But we're still not sure whether the actual talks start at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock yet. But whatever time they do start, I will probably be there from. So anyone I'm going to see, I'll see you there for the daytime stuff. And then obviously the awards in the evening. Good luck to all the nominees. There's a lot of great indie games that are up for awards. So it'll be great. Can't wait to see you there, Ivor Gozzo. Be good to see you, mate. And obviously I've got you a game that you won over Christmas. So we'll make sure that you get that for you and your new PS5. Celtic says, I've been playing Diablo 2 runs again. I've gone down the rabbit hole. Oh, dear. There you go. Jenny's here. Says, Cooey, Jenny. How are you? She says, such a pro. I'm not a pro gamer. I'm not a pro gamer by any length of the imagine. I think it was just a fluke that I completed that Astrobot level in 2 goes. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll see if the one that comes out on Thursday stumps me. If I get any time to play it, because I've got such a crazy week. I'm in Cardiff tomorrow. I am in Dorset Thursday. Then the Debug Awards. Saturday, I'm at an undisclosed location because we are filming the promo for Timeless because we announce everything at the end of next week. So I'm not allowed to say anything about that. And then Sunday, I've got plans. So it's just like mental. But we'll see. Can fit about 5 minutes of there. Dave says, are we? Yes. I'm not arguing with you, Dave. You know this. I've got a platinum of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It's good.
Fair play.
Good on you. Because I played a 1,000 game. I got a 1,000 gamer score. And again, I will say this: it's a beautiful looking game and a great sounding game. But in terms of gameplay, I thought it was awful. And it's probably why it didn't get noticed as much as it should have. But there you go. Jenny says it's at her house. Timeless this year is at her house. So there you go. There you go. Anyway, we've talked enough about games. Shall we get our guest on this evening?
I think we should.
So this wonderful gentleman made a game that we debuted on one of our community nights back in December. And it was quite a cool thing to do because not only were we playing the game for the audience to join in, but literally at 11 o'clock in the evening or around about that time, or I think it was about that 11 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock. The game actually went live on sale on Steam, which is a first for us because we play games that have come out on that day, but we've never been kind of honored to play a game that's literally come out while we're doing the stream for the game. We thought we'd get him on the show. It's been a couple of months since the game's come out, so we wanted to talk to him. And I will state that the game is on sale this week. So this is perfect timing for this. So please give it up for the dev of the game of Thumb Tanks from Thumb Cramps. Please give it up for Chris. Good evening.
Good evening. Howdy, Mac. Howdy, Dave.
Evening.
Thanks for having me again.
Great to have you back. And this time actually in person because you were in chat last time, weren't you?
Yes, I am in person.
It's great to have you here. For those who don't know, so there we go. LeBray says, hello, Chris. Good to see you. Danker's like, Oh, well, people are talking about other things. There we go. But yeah, great to have you on the show. For those who don't remember the game, I'm going to show you the website. I'm going to bring this up on the screen just as I do this, if by the magic of technology. Celtic says hello, Chris. There you go. There you go. So yeah, we played Thumb Tanks back in December, which is a well. Tell you what, I'm going to let you explain it. I'm going to slowly scroll through the thing. You can explain for people who don't know what the game is. Feel free to explain it, please, Chris.
In a nutshell, it's and these are not my words. It's a love letter to vintage PvP couch gaming games for people who enjoyed like the Super Nintendo Mario Kart versus mode with a sprinkle of Wii tanks, with some concepts from newer games like progressions, power-ups, and so on. So basically, it's what middle-aged guys like the two Boldies and Mac over here fondly enjoyed doing the heyday after school. So basically, this is what it is. It's like 2 to 4 players, split screen, PvP. You shoot at each other, you tease each other, and yeah, the loser asks for revenge, and you start it all over again.
Yeah. I think I said to you when we did the stream, obviously you can see a little video that's playing now of the game. I had fond memories of one of the games on my Atari 2600, which was like a tank-based game called Combat, which is like, imagine if you strip this game all the way back to the bare basics. It's just 2 little tanks trying to attack each other. But it just brought back so many sort of memories, because this is like a super duper version. As you said, like games like elements of like games like Micro Machines and things on the Super Nintendo and the battle elements. It really was good fun. And you don't get many couch co-op games these days, which is sad, to be honest, because it always used to be a thing. And obviously you can play it online, because we proved that. We showed that you can play it online. I know Danker joined us playing the game. See, yeah, he says, yes, I never thought it was a good callback to the 2600. So yeah, remembers that. The Bray says, is this a game which your thumbs are tanks or the tanks are thumb shaped? So
it's a game. The thumb comes from like it's a part of your body which starts to cramp after like a couple of times. You constantly got to move your thumbs both at a time, and also like it's like a little bit of wordplay of like some nail, something which is tiny, but that's basically it.
Yeah. So I have fond memories. I say fond because it hurt, but playing NES and SNES games so much on the little controllers that your thumbs would get sore and hurt, and hence Thumb Cramps, the name, on the website. But Sophie has put the let me just pop that off the screen. Sophie has put the link in chat right now. You can go to the website, which you've just seen on screen, and the website will take you to the Steam page as well. There's currently a sale on in Steam, isn't there, Chris?
It is.
Yeah. How am I allowed to say how much it is, or does it maybe one of the chat wants to go check it out?
It should be like something around $6.50 in dollars, whatever this is in pound, whatever this is in euro. It's like a third of its normal $10 price. Yeah.
Let me have a quick look. Let's see. Let's have a quick ganders. Let me press the button, and if I do that, it works out at £5.69, which is an absolute bargain.
Nice.
£5.69, and there is also a special supporters pack, which you get a bundle with, which is £8.54, which is even better. So that's an absolute bargain. It's an absolute bargain. Go check it out if you want to go support Chris and his game. Now, is this your first game that you've done, Chris?
It is the first game I published. I made like a couple of prototypes in the last 25 years, but none of them got somewhere near the finish line. Let's put it in this. But it's like the first one I managed to finish. I went out to this time start a game that I could finish. So when you're young, you're like a little bit too ambitious in regards to that. It's not like I went out to make like a GTA meets Elden Ring meets whatever in VR, but they were like too big for someone who hadn't finished a thing prior to that. So this is like the first one who made it across the finish line and which can be played by people outside my peers.
Yeah. So, folks, if you want to get a copy of the game, please, can we have the link in the chat one more time, please? Go click on the link. Go get a copy of the game. It's literally less than £6. Go play it. We had great fun. Thank you, Sophie. We had great fun playing this over Christmas. And if we get there's no link. Oh, no link. Yeah, that link works. That's fine. Thank you, Sophie. Because it links to the Steam page. So we had great fun doing it. So if a couple of you buy the game, we will probably do another night of this. So if you fancy but getting a game, which doesn't cost a lot, go support Chris on his first game. It's a great party game. So there you go. It is. We had great fun with it. So do it, and we might put on another community night of it. So and do that. Kind of what now the game's released. Kind of what's your plans? Are you continuing to develop stuff for it, add stuff for it? What's kind of like the future plans?
Before I miss it, I got a shout out to Danker for playing with us the whole launch night. He was like playing. I don't want to insult anybody. Danker was playing like the whole night with us. So thanks once again for that. In regards to plans, I still got plans. I launched a somewhat bigger update recently, like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Taking things into consideration, I saw even more people playing the game. What isn't like super intuitive, where people struggling in the UI and such things. I still do have like approximately 50 ideas of things I want to add into the game. Probably not all will make it, but I still plan on at least one major update, which is supposed to bring like a tutorial to make it even easier to get started with it, and then some minor polishing, maybe another special weapon. But the next big thing is the tutorial. I almost forgot. After the last update brought like the first game mode you can play on your own or cooperative. So it has some like a targets practicing survival kind mode where you have to like survive for as long as you can and learn like the gist of the game while doing so. And you can play it cooperative, which says if one tank is down, the other one has to revive him or her, so you can keep playing and stack up high scores. And maybe one day there will be an online leaderboard for that, but I'm not sure about that right now.
Nice. So things have come quite quickly then since, I mean, we're only since kind of just over 2 months since the launch, really. So you've added quite a lot in the last 2 months, haven't you?
Yes, some of those ideas were in the back of my head before I launched, but at one point in time, you got to say, okay, this is like the set of features I want to release with. If I grab more and more features, I'll also add more and more bugs. So let's stop adding features and start removing bugs to get something out of the door. You can confidently give people and say, hey, this shouldn't crash like every 5 minutes. And so after this was in and the first update was only bug fixes, I said, okay, now we can step by step add like some of those, as I said, 50 ideas still on my long bucket list.
Brilliant. Well, I hope that many of those features on your bucket list do get there. It's funny because you're talking about buckets and there's a whole thing with Dave. He says, Mag, I'm ready to be a guest. We will get you on the show, Dave. And he says, yes, bucket list, because funny enough, he talks about buckets a lot. So the fact that you said that has probably made him a very happy man talking about bucket lists. But we hope that you get everything from that bucket list into the game that, you know, over the course of the coming months and everything. And I hope more people support the game. We had, as I said, I had great fun playing that. I really did. And I know a lot of people, there's some people that saw that stream that are not here tonight who enjoyed it as well. They might even pop in the stream a bit later, but I know they probably enjoyed it, and they just like the whole aesthetic of it as well. It just gave them those retro vibes, which they loved, and it brought back a lot of memories. So congratulations on getting it out released and updating it, because making games is not an easy thing, and especially and we've had a number of dev teams on this show, and they've been like large teams, and then they've been like one person like yourself, etc. And it's impressive. It's impressive what you do. So keep up the good work, Chris.
Thank you very much. Wish me luck.
Will do. So please do go. If you haven't got a copy of the game, do support Chris. The link is going to appear in the chat. Go get a copy. It's on sale. It's the perfect time to get it. And it's great fun. And if enough of you DM me and say you bought it, we will do another community night with it. And we'll invite Chris in, because Chris came and joined us. So we'll get something sorted in the next couple of weeks for that as well. So there you go. Right. Shall we start the show, gentlemen?
Yeah, let's get going, mate.
Let's make it happen. So this is our 204th show. We are going to be talking about 6 new games that came out over the last 7 days. We've got Sid Meier's Civilisation 7. Some of you may have seen me playing the Tomb Raider games 4, 5, and 6 remastered last night. We're going to talk about those. We've got some VR games, PlayStation, PC, etc. Plus, we are going to talk about the State of Play event that took place Thursday last week. We're going to go through very quickly all the games and updates that were announced over that 45 minute showcase. And literally, why is Chris's name? Oh, so we'll explain that. Sophie, don't worry. Okay, what was that? So we'll go through all of that, and we've got the news as well. So before we actually play our first trailer, Sophie said, why is Chris's name Thumb Cramp, not Thumb Tank? So for you, just miss it. Would you like to explain it? Because technically, yeah.
Basically, it's like the name of the quote-unquote studio. It's basically during testing, my girlfriend, Janika, by the way, hi, honey, I'm on TV. Did tell me she had a cramp in her thumb, and basically that's how the idea was born. I don't want to call the studio with my name like I'm like an old bank or something like that. So you need like a funny name for your studio. I didn't have an idea, and basically she came painfully up with the idea during a test session, and the rest is history, so to say.
There you go. And then it's kind of followed suit, because Thumb Cramp is the studio that's made the game. And the first game from that studio is Thumb Tanks. So it just.
I'm not that creative. I had one good idea with something, and then I ran with it. The next game will probably be like some ice cream truck. I don't know, but some will be. For sure.
I thought it was very cleverly plotted and planned, but now you've just shattered the illusion. You've gone, no, I'm not that great.
I'll go with your explanation.
Let's say that.
Master plan I got.
Yeah. Right, let's play our first. There you go. Thumb Truck can be your next game. There you go. So they're throwing suggestions at you. She's going to write it down. There you go. Thumb Truck for the ice cream van game. So let's play our trailer of our first game tonight. This has been a long-running set of games, and I remember playing the first one back on PC in the early 90s. And now we are at game number 7. This came out last Tuesday on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, is on Mac, and is on Linux systems, believe it or not, as well. So it's pretty much on everything. The only thing you can't get it on is Nintendo Switch. But this is Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Let's have a look at the trailer, and we'll be talking about how you can get shout-outs in the chat after this.
Each layer of history provides us hope, a way to chart our future, carved into the earth itself. The lessons of one age foretell the next. And if there's hope for one of us, there's hope for us all. The future is waiting.
There you go. It's even coming to VR later this spring. And actually, apparently it is coming to Switch as well. It does state it is coming to Switch.
It's on everything.
Yeah, so literally everything, which is insane. Can we also get a shout out for Danker as well? Because Danker is our community member of the month. And he's just literally posted saying, not really into this series, but I know this does do well with long-term strategy players. So, and we'll talk about the score in a minute. Ben, good evening. Another wonderful game dev who we have in the chat. Ben only saw the last 2 seconds of the trailer. That's fine. Don't worry. I've also been told that iQuail will get here later, and iQuail is guessing a 7 for everything until he gets here. So if he gets it right, we've got to shout iQuail. Fanta Dave says Civilization 6 was a great game to play. I remember it getting great reviews. But for those who don't know what the Civilization games are, Dave, would you like to give us a little synopsis of what they are all about?
Yeah, these are your big sort of 4X grand strategy games. You've got to pick your civilization, pick your world leader. In this particular one, your world leaders are untethered from their particular civilization, so you can mix and match a bit more. So you could take like Benjamin Franklin, you could lead Rome, for example. So the bonuses that come with that character you can use with that civilization. Yeah. And you take that civilization through 3 different ages of human history. And I think with this game as well, it's also changed it a bit. So when you change age, you have to change the civilization you're controlling. So it's making you sort of mix things up a little bit more. Right. And take your civilizations through those ages and hopefully come out on top, conquer the other civilizations also vying for power. Either, win with diplomacy, win through war, maybe win with religion. There's different ways to make your civilization the best one. From what I've seen of this game, it looks pretty decent. It looks similar to all the previous ones, really. Just graphics look nicer. I think they streamlined a few of the systems this time, which I think some people like, some don't. But I think it's usually the case with these games. They come out, people find things they don't like in comparison to the previous game. Wait a while for patches and other DLCs to come out, and it'll probably turn out to be a better game, a few months down the line.
Yeah.
Once all this stuff's been sorted. Because I think people are saying it's not that easy to find information for certain things that you're looking at on screen. So that's been hidden away, and some people don't like the way that you do have to switch civilizations, but you change the age. People want to play the same one all the way through. So who knows? Maybe they'll add a mode to let you do that later on. Yeah. But for now, it's set up a slightly different way. Because let's face it, they've got to do a few different things with each release. Otherwise, people will just be bitching that it's the same game last time. Why am I playing it? Why am I paying the money for it again? So it's nice they mix it up, but I'm sure they'll add more to it as they go along. Okay. It looks all right. I can't say I'm going to jump into it, but I think Federer likes a big strategy game. Yeah, looks like this should be a good one.
Okay, all right. Chris, have you ever played any of the Civilization games before?
Oh boy, I did. I had probably like thousands of hours in the first 4 parts of it. I played the first one. I didn't speak a word of English. I didn't understand what any of those things meant. I just built whatever was the most expensive thing I could afford in my cities, and I somehow got it down to win the game on easy a couple of times. I played the second, the third, and the fourth. By the time they added religion, the game started to become a little bit too complex and too grindy for me. It was like you get older and you want to hook up the computer or the console and have some fun right away. And this was a little bit too much to get into, too much work for me. When series, which I dearly love, still love, a little bit lost me. I'm looking forward to play this once it's in a sale, probably. Yeah. But I'm happy with what Dave said. They streamlined some systems because some city development, and you could automate those workers. But if you really wanted to play good, you couldn't automate the workers. You had to do it all by hand, which somewhat made it like a job to me. And I was not. Yeah. This is what I do after my day job, and I don't want to be into micromanaging too much. So, but I of course know and have thousands of hours in Civ games.
Nice. So you're looking forward to this one, hopefully, as you said. But once it's in a sale, that's when once it's in a sale, so that's fine. Okay, so for those who may not have seen the show, we don't technically review the games ourselves, but we scour the internet and check out lots of different reviews from lots of different websites and videos, and basically take an average score. You may agree with it, you may not. You can guess in halves and whole numbers, but if you get it correct, and this applies for Dave, our guest, Chris, tonight, and the chat, you will get a shout out in the chat. So if Chris gets it right, we're going to basically plug his website for the game every time that he gets one right. And then we want you to go and buy that game. Simple as that. There you go. So we got a couple of scores in chat already. Obviously, Danka was saying his predicted score is an 8.5, because obviously we talked about this in our 50 games to look out for in 2025. Ben said an 8. Gozzo said an 8. Chaotic says an 8.5. Jenny said a 7. And Flame said a 7. Fanta Dave says an 8. So we've got quite a lot of high scores there. Get your scores in the chat now if you want to win a shout out in chat. Dave, I'll start with you. Where do you think this is sitting at in score?
I'm going to try an 8.5.
8.5. Okay. All right. Fanta says, I'll be surprised if it's less than a 6. I don't think it'll be as low as that. But Chris, what do you think this got?
I wanted to go with an 8, but this number is taken by too many people. I don't think it will be worse than that, but to be the sole winner, I'll try a 7.5.
Okay, going for a 7.5. Okay. Last chance, folks. Get your scores in chat. This is Sid Meiers Civilization 7, which came out last Tuesday on PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and will be coming to VR and Switch in the spring. So that's sometime in the next 3 months. And if there are no more guesses in the chat, I can tell you that in terms of scores, this did pretty well. But in terms of some of the streamlining and stuff, it has annoyed some regular fans, and they do want a few things to be patched and changed, which I'm sure will happen. So on average, it averaged out at a 7.5 out of 10. So congratulations, Chris. You got it right. There you go. Can we get a shout out for Chris and his website? Go buy Thumb Tanks now. It's in the sale. Do it now, you wonderful people. Ben's like, yay, I'm off by 0.5 as usual. Chaotic says, GG's. Gozzo says, fair play. I think it's one of those games that if you reviewed it in about 6-8 months, you'll probably find the score's gone up. But for release purposes, in the last week, it's sitting around there. I have seen some reviews that gave it higher scores. I've seen some that came in a little bit lower, but nothing lower than like a 6.5. So it was a bit mixed there, But there you go. So Civilization 7 gets a 7.5. It would have been funny if it got a 7, wouldn't it? That'd be quite fitting. I don't think there was anybody else that got it right. People were close, but Chris was the only one that got it right. So there you go. Congratulations, Chris. Let's move on to our next game. Something a little bit different. This came out on Wednesday on Switch, PC, and PS5. And this is Urban Myth Dissolution Center. Bit of a mouthful, but you'll see what it's all about. Here we go.
Strange phenomena, cursed relics, dimensional anomalies, dedicated to unraveling the mysteries behind the inexplicable. The Urban Myth Dissolution Center. Investigate the scene. Gather clues on social media. Use clairvoyance to reveal what's hidden beyond ordinary perception. Identify the myth tied to the case and unravel its mysteries. Once the eye-opener is unlocked, the truth will be unveiled. Mysterious cards that foretell a dark future, a tragic case from the past. Witness the shocking truth shrouded in darkness. An occult mystery adventure like no other. Urban Myth Dissolution Center.
I'm not going to lie. I even though they kind of explained what the game was, I'm still really confused as to what this game is. And by the looks of it, I'm not the only one. Chris was nodding there, going, "Yeah." Danka says, "Looks interesting, but is it a visual novel kind of game?" Well, Dave, hopefully you will shed some light on this. What is this game?
Yeah, for the most part, it's a very visual novel. Yeah, the way it's presented. Your character ends up falling in with this dissolution center. You start working for them, and you're trying to sort of solve all these various like urban myths that are happening. And the gameplay is sort of set. Each case is like an episode, so it's sort of episodic throughout. So, you investigate all these different cases, trying to work out what the truth is behind the urban legends. So yeah, it's part visual novel. Then it's sort of part sort of detective as well, because you've got to go scour like social media information. There'll be little bits where you're talking to people with information. Then you got to use some of the clues to pretty much like fill in like a sort of clue sheet, if you like, to sort of move the story forward, solve the mystery. It looks okay. It's definitely going for like those retro pixel art vibes.
Yeah,
definitely looks interesting with the sort of color scheme it's gone for with the pixel art. I mean, it could be good fun.
Okay. I don't really know what to make of it, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I would play this or not. It looks great, but I don't know. It's one of them. Maybe I need to watch someone else play it, and then I would make up my mind on this one. Let's see what the chat are saying. Chaotic says, "Okay, I'm saying a 7.5 for this. It's the type of game that doesn't look the best, but has probably got a good following behind it." That's probably very true. Ben says, "One of these days, when I ask you what this game's about, Dave's going to turn around and say, I don't have a flipping clue."
That's been the occasional JRPG I really couldn't be bothered to look up anything about.
Yeah. Danka says he's going for a safe 7.5. Ben says going for a 6.5 on this. Gozzo says a 7.5 as well. Flame says a 6.5. We'll get more scores in the chat. But Chris, a visual novel style of game, is this kind of your thing, or are you still sitting there like me, a bit confused as to what this is?
Yeah, a bit confused. This is probably not my cup of tea. Don't ask me why. I'm not the guy who likes to read a lot in games. I'm sorry, no one admits it, but if I want to read, I'll take a book. This doesn't mean that it might be fun for some people, might be a great game, not my cup of tea. Yeah, that's it, basically.
That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair. I get what you're saying, because I have games where it's just reams and reams of text, and you're kind of like, no, I can't. I can't. It's too much. So I totally understand that. Fanta Dave says a 7. I'm right in thinking we said iQuail said 7.5. We're not going to shout him out yet because he's not here. But technically, if I got that, did he say 7.5 or 7? I need to check this. Oh no, he said 7. So he didn't get the first one right. He said 7. Thank you, Sophie. So I was going to say we could save up the shout outs for him when he turns up later, but he didn't get it right, so it doesn't matter. So he's guessing 7. So he said a 7 like this, just like Fanta Dave has said. Okay, so actually, Chris, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think this has got as an average score?
I totally lack any scale how to judge it. And that's why I'll say it's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay. Yeah. Dave?
I was thinking 8 as well. So
okay.
Let's go with that.
Going for an 8 as well. Okay. Well, we got some. I say we got some we've got some 8, some 7.5, 6.5, 7s. So say anybody else, folks, get your scores in chat now. This is Urban Myth Dissolution Center, which came out last Wednesday on Switch, PC, and PS5. And I can tell you that this got the same score as our first game. This got a 7.5 on average. So there you go. Gozzo, congratulations. Danka, congratulations. Chaotic, congratulations. The 3 of you got it right. Well done. So greatly appreciate that. Bless her. Sophie's on duties tonight because Dan Game Tank's not very well, and he'll probably watch this on catch up. So get well soon, Dan Game Tank. Thank you, Sophie, for doing the shout outs. I greatly appreciate it. I know she can't be here all night, but we've got some other mods who are going to hopefully take over from her at some point. So there you go. Right. Okay, we're going to move on to some gaming news. I know Sophie's not well as well, bless her, and she's here, bless her, soldiering on. Get well soon, Soph. It's that time of year, everyone's getting bugs. That's what happens when you meet people in real life. You need to do what we're doing and not actually meeting in real life. We're just on a video call. It's great. So much safer. There you go. Sophie says, I'm going to have stern words with Dan with his stupid man flu. Oh, bless. Do you know what? I've never known Dan to miss a stream, and he's missed 2 on the trot, so I know he's not well, bless him. There you go. So we are going to talk now, and I know Gozzo's probably very excited for this because I know he was hyped last week. That last Thursday, as we talked about 2 weeks on the show, we said it was rumored that a PlayStation State of Play showcase was going to happen, and they announced it. They literally announced it when we were doing this show this time last week, and around about 10 o'clock on the Thursday, that's quite funny what Sophie said. 10 o'clock last Thursday, they did roughly a 40 to 45 minute showcase. Now, obviously, we're not going to show you the whole 45 minutes, but courtesy, and I've cheated here, of IGN, we can basically show you every game that was shown in that showcase in 6.5 minutes. So we are going to basically show this. I hope this is going to work for the wonders of technology, especially if I'll get rid of that. Not that. We don't want some sound. There we go. So we're going to basically show you everything, and we're going to do a commentary over the top and talk about what we liked, what we were intrigued about. Again, Chris, if there's anything, I don't know if you've seen this yet.
I have not.
Okay, if there's anything that grabs your attention, let us know, and we'll talk about it. It's going to be quite quick because they just cram 40 minutes into 6 minutes, but we'll have a little discussion after. But we'll crank the video off. I'm not going to play the sound. Obviously, the new Monster Hunter game comes out at the end of this month, so there was a big thing about this and what's coming to it and the fact what they're adding to it. This is going to be the first update that literally comes out next week. We got the first look of the Shinobi game, so almost like a Shinobi remake, as it were.
This looks pretty cool. Lovely art style they're doing for this.
Yeah,
I do like the look of it.
That's out in August. We got a lot of dates, which was great. We get a new Sonic racing game. I'm a big fan of the Sonic racing games. I'm not going to lie.
I've never played them. I always hear good things about them.
Yeah.
Kind of up there with Mario Kart, I think, for a lot of
people. No date on that one, but that's going to be the 4th one of those.
I think this is Digimon.
It was. This was Digimon.
I mean, I don't care about Pokemon. I care even less about Digimon, so not even on my radar.
No. There's going to be some people that will be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was this Lost Soul Aside? I've got to try and remember.
I believe so, yes.
Oh.
So, this looks very Final Fantasy-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that one started off with one dev, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's expanded out now.
Yeah, coming out in May. This is the new Dave the Diver DLC, which is based on the Yakuza games. So they've drugged the Like a Dragon and Yakuza games into Dave the Diver, which I thought was fun. We got an more in-depth look at the new Borderlands game, and they stated that the next state of play will be completely dedicated to Borderlands 4.
To me, though, that's a complete waste of a state of play.
We also got a release date for that because I think that comes out in a couple of months. We got to see more of Split Fiction that comes out next month, which out on March the 6th, which looks fantastic, I have to say.
Really looking forward to this one. I really love the Takes Two and A Way Out. So this is one probably one of the few games I buy on launch day.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that, Chris. I think it's going to be so good. Obviously, we get the new wrestling game, and we get our first full-length feature game from the makers of The Quarry and Until Dawn. And this is part of the Dark Pictures anthology, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I was about to say it.
But the first one's set in space. That comes out in October. Perfect for Halloween. This I like the look of.
This looks really cool. This is sort of claymation is how they sort of made this, and the way they've done that, mixed it in, looks very, very interesting.
That comes out in May. It's called The Midnight Walk. This is a Dynasty Warriors game, but they've taken it from a top-down view. I've got that right. Is it Warriors Abyss?
Yeah.
So that's a spin-off.
There was this was on a musher, I think, isn't it? Yeah, this is the remake of the second one, or remaster of the second on a musher.
There you go, which comes out in May.
Yeah, so you got that, and then you've got a proper new on a musher coming out. Well, I think it's next year, they reckon, at the moment, isn't it? They showed a bit more of this. Just looked quite cool. Some interesting mechanics where you can, throw like a cloth over an enemy's head and it will stumble around and hit other enemies. Or flip a table to get some cover for yourself. It's quite cool. Oh, I did like the look of this. This looked really quite cool.
This looks a lot of fun.
Paradox, this one's called.
Yeah.
Side scroll with an octopus and hide from enemies, use camouflage, use your ink.
Yeah, if you like games like Inside and stuff like that. Now, this is one of our games that was in our top 50, which Hell is Us, which is where you start as a UN person trying to save people, and then it goes all very sci-fi and weird, which I'm still very intrigued by, but it's very Souls-like. We get the first ever Lies of P DLC, which comes out in the summer. And this I like the look of. It's not a typical shooter. You shoot things to make them appear.
Yeah, creation instead of destruction. Definitely an intriguing idea. Interesting art style as well.
Yeah, I like the look of that.
Definitely stands out amongst all the usual stuff you see. Oh, we'd already seen this leak about a week before, didn't it?
Yeah, and this comes out end of August, I believe. So this is the Metal Gear Delta Solid. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. That comes out. Then we're getting a remaster for a game that I did enjoy, but it just didn't sell well. Days Gone remaster. I think it's £10 for the upgrade. That comes out in April.
Yes.
Then this was called what was this? Because at first I thought this might be Marathon, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be as well. What was this? I think this is Metal Eden. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Metal Eden. Yeah, which I thought I was the same. I thought it's a Marathon, but no. I thought it looked quite interesting.
Yeah.
This is on your Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's games, which again, this one's called Mimic. It's out June, but again, probably I'll save that until Halloween. But that's definitely going on the list for Halloween games to play.
And this is Tides of Annihilation, I think, which looks very much like sort of Devil May Cry.
Yes, hack and slash.
Yeah, it looks quite cool using the Arthurian sort of legend for a change. Could be quite cool. Was this one Mind's Eye?
Yeah, this look. I mean, not that we got any real we got some gameplay, but this looked interesting. But it did remind me of certain games like Alan Wake and Quantum Break because of the way some of it's set. But that's due in summer. And then this is an interesting one because it's made by the company that did Returnal, and apparently it's kind of set in the same sort of thing, but obviously it's a new story in that whole universe called Saros. But it uses that Returnal formula, apparently.
Yeah, it looks like they're building upon what they did there, so it could be pretty good because it's Housemarque who made that one. And they do some very, very good stuff. And I didn't end up playing a huge amount of the previous one. Returnal, but what I played of it was good.
I did.
I wasn't very good at it. Sort of bullet hell style of it was just a bit much for me. I didn't get very far at all, but what was there was decent. So if they're building upon it with this one, definitely one to watch out for. But there was no sort of dates given, was there? So it's probably a ways out at the moment.
Yeah, it could be a year, 2 years before we see that one, but that was kind of the one they finished on. Kartik says, was that Rahul Cole? Ravi out of iZombie. Yes, it was, I believe. That's the actor's name. I believe that was correct. The Midnight Walk is from the people that made Lost in Random. That's why it seems so familiar. I like Lost in Random. That was a good game as well. Chaotic also saying that she's very excited for the next Dark Pictures game, Directive 2080. I like those games. I think they're fun, but they are very much like watching a movie. But again, perfect for Halloween. So there was 3 games there that I immediately went, that'll be nice to play. Even though some of them come out earlier, they're like, I'll leave them until October. It'll be perfect for the Halloween streams. So there you go. Chris, I know you said that Split Fiction was like the one there that you're really excited for. Was there any sort of anything else that really stood out for you?
I realized that how much out of touch with gaming I am, obviously, but some caught my eye. So, but basically, it's all cooperative games. So it's like Split Fiction, split screen multiplayer for me, obviously. I didn't know there was a Borderlands 3, but obviously it seemed to be a Borderlands 4, which I enjoyed the first one. The first one had the split screen on the Xbox 360, if I remember correctly. So that's like an idea I'd like to revisit again. And we talked about what while it ran, but probably the WWE game, wrestling, is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, although I tried the 24 one like a week ago, and the tutorial turned a little bit off. It was like too combo heavy. I was like, okay, to do this, you have to enter like 3 Konami codes in a row, and while holding the select key. And it was a little too hard to get into it for me. But so basically everything I can play in person with another person on the couch is down my alley.
Well, the new Sonic Racing has been very much like that. So this is the 4th Sonic Team Racing game. I very much enjoyed those. And those are good couch co-op and online co-op games. And I hope that's exactly what this is going to be as well. There you go. Gozzo said, I'm hyped for Sonic Racing, Borderlands 4, Shinobi, the Days Gone Remastered, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Well, you're not got to wait very long for that, because that comes out Friday next week, Monster Hunter. Dankin says they are bringing back some control mechanics from WWE 2K20 that will make things interesting again in the new game. So I know we've got a lot of people who do like the wrestling games in our community. I've never actually done a stream of any of them. Maybe one day I'll do. Maybe I'll do this new one. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of people who have got a lot of love for the wrestling games. So we shall see. We shall see. But there's a lot of games there that I'm like, I would like to stream these. There's like future. I could see certain games, especially more of some of the indie titles. You know, there were certain ones that I was like, that'd be great. So I'm looking forward to that. Dave, any specific ones that you really liked?
I mean, Split Fiction, definitely, because I absolutely loved the previous game from them. That was fantastic. So this looks like more good co-op fun. And then I quite like the look of, again, some of the indie stuff, as you say, because a lot of the AAA stuff just kind of feel like, it's the same thing over and over again. They're all playing it safe. It's just the same thing, but bigger and flashier. So I quite like the look of the Midnight Walk and that Darwin's Paradox, that one with the octopus. I thought that looked like fun. So I'm kind of up for some of those. Yeah.
No, I think, I'll be honest, as a showcase overall, I really enjoyed it. And I think there was a lot of good varied stuff, and it didn't seem bogged down in one form of genre, because we seemed to get a lot of that last year, where it was like, oh, it's very RPG heavy, or it seems to be very horror. So for an opening PlayStation showcase for this year, I was very, very happy. So I think there's some great stuff. And a lot of it is coming out this year. And there was dates for it, which is fantastic. So there you go. There you go. I think only one of those games actually made our list of top 50 games. Everything else was a brand new surprise to us. So there you go. We might have to do a revised halfway of the year where it goes, oh, well, now we've changed it or whatever, but we'll see. But there you go, folks. By all means, if you want to catch up and have a look at yourself, there is a 6.5 minute video. Saves you watching the whole 45-minute thing. Go check it out. That's on IGN right now. Let's move on to our next game. So this is a game that we never actually got to talk about when it first came out, because it came out on PSVR 2 and Steam VR. But we'd already done our last talk show for Christmas, and it came out like the week after. So it's now, as of last Thursday, landed on MetaQuest VR as well. So we get to actually talk about this now. And this is Alien Rogue Incursion. Let's have a look at the trailer for this Alien VR game.
Welcome to Perdan.
There you go. So get to play Alien in VR and basically scare yourself silly. Danka says, I will never be able to play this in VR. It will give me heart palpitations. And he says, oh, that said part 1. Well, yes. This is the interesting thing, which I'm sure David will talk about. Ben said, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. I thought Alien Isolation was a scary game, and that wasn't in VR. I don't think I could play this. I'm not going to lie. I think this would scare me too much. So, Dave, tell us more about this, because obviously we never covered this when it originally came out because we missed it, because it just before, like the week before Christmas, it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was quite late in the day. Yeah, this is the release that's coming out as the Quest 3 headsets. So it doesn't look too bad graphically, not as good as like PSVR 2 version or Steam version looks. I mean, they can actually push better graphics, look nice, but this still looks pretty good. I think they've got most of the main stuff over that needs to be, nice and dark, good atmosphere. Definitely looks like it will scare the crap out of you a few times if the aliens like appearing suddenly behind you in a vent and it's right there in your face in VR. Same when like a facehugger comes and jumps at you, it'll just be right there.
Yeah,
I can see that being a bit freaky. I mean, I usually try and avoid horror stuff in VR, but some stuff I would try. But I will try this. I think it does look pretty good. Whether I'll be able to get through it's the question entirely, but I'll definitely go. But yeah, the mention of like part 1 for this, that was quite a late in the day change that they did, because it was never titled as part 1. Mostly like the early showings. It wasn't that long before release they showed that. So yeah, we've got a part 2 coming at some point. But in this one, you're playing as an ex-marine, I think it is, called Zula Hendricks, and she's traveled to this planet. It's a Weyland-Yutani black site, and she's there trying to get some evidence of what they're doing, trying to like expose them.
Yeah.
But of course, you know how these things go. With any alien film, the people find these bases. It doesn't take long for it to all go tits up and for aliens to start pouring out the vents, and yeah, you've got to try and survive. I think the highlight of this will be, in VR, all the interactions they do. So you'll be holding the pulse rifle yourself. You'll have to use the welder on the doors to like, remove the welding so you can get out, or put the weld on so you can stay safe. Look like there were bits like an Android head. You've got to like plug things into it. Yeah. So I think things like that will make it pretty cool. Or I think I've seen like an interaction you got to like wipe blood off a monitor as well. So there's quite a few things in there that you wouldn't get to do in a normal flat screen alien game. So I think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one at some point.
You're going to be brave and play it. Danka says, makes you wonder if the content wasn't quite ready, so that's why they split release it. Yeah, not sure. I know. I will say that when it did finally come out just before Christmas, it did rub a few people up the wrong way because they thought they were getting a full game and didn't realize they were just getting part 1, which was a bit cheeky because they only kind of said that, as Dave says, about a week before release, and everyone was like, oh, so I'm not getting the full game, but it's still a game, as it were. Chris, would you be brave enough to play this?
Probably. The one thing in the trailer gives me like strong Alex head crab, PTSD flashbacks. So I didn't know of this game. I'm happy to see it's also on Steam, so with probably some slightly better graphics again. So I already wish I did it. Looking forward to probably breaking my telly while running into it when this comes out. This is definitely will try it sometime. And like everyone, this and we'll probably have a heart attack while doing so.
Yeah.
but it's looking intriguing. It's looking really good.
So I'd probably play it if it wasn't in VR. That's the funny thing. I don't think I could play it in VR, but if it was.
The best thing in VR is also, again, for me, it's always the social aspect of gaming. The fun aspect of VR gaming is you play it yourself, then you give it to your spouse, and you watch her or him play, and it's almost better than the time you played it yourself. like seeing how other people react to the things. Can I curse here? You crap your pants. All over again, it's like the highlight of VR gaming to me. It's like seeing someone else playing like Alex or something like this is probably more fun than doing it yourself.
Yeah,
because I know you can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. I know, Dave, you're a massive fan of Half-Life, Alex, weren't you? You really enjoyed that.
It's a fantastic game. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, So give it. Middle Ben says double dog dare you to stream this for the October Halloween Fest this year. I'd need to be able to get a VR kit, but maybe we'll see if I can borrow one or do something. Maybe that will happen. We always raise money for charity during Halloween. Ask Tigress. Tigress has got a very expensive VR setup. I don't think she would let me borrow it because I would probably break it. So there you go. She's in Japan at the moment, bless her. Anyway, I know at the moment. You can say anything. After all, we went down a rabbit hole last week. We did go down a rabbit hole. Let's not go back there to that rabbit hole, but there you go. But let's see what this got, folks. A couple of people have started guessing scores in chat. Ben says he reckons this has got an 8. Danka says a 7. Gozzo says a 7. Chat, get your scores in now. Let us know. Sophie is off to bed because I know she's not well. So see you later, Sophie. Thank you so much for all your help. Says, sorry, I'm sorry. Don't apologise. Thank you for being here and holding down the fort. Greatly appreciate it. Have a good night's rest. Flame says a 7. Dave, I'll start with you this time. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to try 7.5.
Going for 7.5. Okay. And Chris?
I'll go for a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. Last chance, folks. This is Alien Rogue Incursion, which came out on Thursday on the MetaQuest VR, already available on Steam VR and PSVR 2. And if there are no more scores in the chat, I can tell you that this got a very reasonable 7 out of 10. So there you go. 7 out of 10. So I'm going to do some shout outs here because I don't think we've got any mods in. Oh, Mr. Johnson's here. So I don't know if he is about. Oh, look at that. As if by magic. Thank you, Dave, taking over from Sophie. Greatly appreciate that. Congratulations to Gozzo. Yeah, iQuail will need one later. We'll remember that if he turns up. Flame gets one as well. And Danka. So congratulations, gents. And don't forget, folks, they spend the time to watch this show every week and watch my streams. Please do give them a follow. Go watch their streams as well because they are great supporters of this and we should support them as well. So greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Dave Johnson, for doing the shout outs for that one. Now, moving on to a set of games that we played last night. Last year, on Valentine's, we got the release of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 Remastered. And like clockwork, this Valentine's, we got the second set of games. We got Tomb Raiders 4, 5, and 6 Remastered, even though they're not actually called Tomb Raiders 4, 5, and 6. They've all got different names. We played this on stream last night. Chaotic said, I was getting the baby asleep. That Alien game my other half played last week. He shat himself. So clean underwear for Chaotic's other half, please. There you go. Thank you, Dave. Greatly appreciate it for sorting all that out. So we played little bits of all 3 Tomb Raider games last night. Some seem to work better than others, not going to lie. But let's have a look at the trailer for the next set of remasters. This is Tomb Raiders 4, 5, and 6 Remastered. And this came out on Valentine's Day for PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and Switch. Let's have a look at the trailer.
Be careful, Lara. I fear there are things in the vaults man was not meant to see.
I'm not a man, Jean. And I'm always very, very careful.
Good luck, Lara. I fear you may need it.
I make my own luck.
So there you go. That's the second set of Tomb Raider games. Now, if this follows suit with the first set, we got a digital only release on Valentine's Day, and then in the autumn we got physical releases. So if this does well and you want to wait out for a physical release, not saying it'll happen, but you might get one in the autumn for this next set of games. So Dave, tell us a little bit more about this second collection of Tomb Raider games.
Yeah, I mean, this collection probably isn't as much loved as the original 3 games. I think you got 2 decent ones in here, then one game that isn't really remembered quite so fondly. So you got The Last Revelation, which is more of your standard Tomb Raider adventure with Lara Croft going through various tombs in Egypt. Then you got Chronicles, which is the one that's then sort of looking back at different points of her life.
Yeah.
So there's bits where you're playing as Lara as a teenager on like her first sort of adventure with like her mentor through some tombs, and it's sort of skipping through her life in that one. And then of course the Angel of Darkness, which is I think it's the PS2 game, which really didn't do very well and got pretty slated. It was the last one that Core Design ever did before it then went to Crystal Dynamics, I think it was, to continue the series. They've got a few interesting little extras in here though, as well as like updated graphics, modern controls alongside the original tank controls. There's a few like fun little extras. I think for like Chronicles back in the day, there was like a separate level that was part of a something they did with the I think it was a Times newspaper. So you had to, I can't remember how you got that, but it was a separate thing. You had to probably buy the Times, get a code to get it, but that is included in this one.
Yeah.
And then the Angel of Darkness, whilst the overall game really hasn't been fixed, because it's probably taken a lot of work to do that, they've put some content in it, like brought some voice lines back, a few little gameplay elements that were originally left the room floor, so that probably helps a little bit. I think I've read some people comment that the modern controls make it a little bit more playable, but it's still not meant to be a very good game. I think they added things like a stamina meter for Lara when she's climbing this one, and that can easily lead to many accidental deaths when you get the climbing wrong. So it just wasn't a very good game back then, and even with like slightly spruced up graphics and modern controls, it's still not a particularly good game now. But it's there in the package. If you want to get the complete set. I think it looks all right. I haven't played the previous 3. I don't know whether I'll bother getting around to this one.
Yeah,
at least it's there. Another generation can experience it on the modern consoles.
Yeah, I'm going to say this now. Whereas the first collection, I'd obviously already kind of played those games. I'd not played any of these ones, so for me, it was quite good in the fact that there were new games for me to play and try. But we did have a massive variance in them because we found that the last game, especially, seemed really awkward and the AI in it was terrible. There's a bit where it says, "Oh, you need to sneak past a thing, otherwise you'll get caught." And I just ran straight past the character, which you're not supposed to do. And it didn't cause any problems. But then what's funny is we got to the next level. As soon as the level started, there was a game over thing that kicked in. And it's like, oh no, because there's no autosave, you've got to start right back at the beginning.
No.
If I'd known that was going to happen in the space of 2 seconds of the level loading, I would have saved manually, but it didn't. It was really weird. So that I found a bit janky. The fourth one, the tank controls are not good in it, and trying to swing on a rope was where I rage quit because you've got to press about 3 or 4 buttons at the same time just to swing on a rope. So being able to change the controls, I will probably go back and play that on a more modern control, and I'll probably enjoy that. But I did enjoy the 5th one. We got quite far in that, and it did feel like your typical Tomb Raider game. And again, I was using the original controls, but it didn't feel clunky, and felt like a lot of good fun. So yeah, I one of them stood out to me more than the others, which was the 5th one. Weirdly, maybe the 4th one will more if I play on a different control scheme. But yeah, I didn't mind it. Did I like it? First impressions compared to the first set? Probably not, because the nostalgia is more there because I played those ones. So it's difficult to tell, but we'll see. Chris, your thoughts on the Tomb Raider games? Are these ones that you've played, or were they ones you weren't familiar with, like me?
I'm probably the worst person to ask about Tomb Raider. I played the first one when it came out.
Yeah.
Since it was like enormous hype, like this new franchise, and if I remember correctly, it was from a technological standpoint, it was a huge leap of what games could do. It was like one of the first 3D games, real 3D games, not like sprites in the 3D space, but like polygons and textures on it.
Yes.
And I rage quitted it like within 15 minutes, climbing stuff, falling down, having to start over. And that's it for all Tomb Raider games ever since for me. Since then. I believe I played one of the reboots and 8 years ago, and I believe they made another reboot, which looked beautiful, but once again back climbing, falling, rage quitting. Okay, it's still not my thing 20 years later.
Yeah, that's fine. At least I know it's not just me then, because I do enjoy them, but I do rage quit these games terribly. So at least I'm in good company with you, Chris, in that respect. So that's all right. It makes me feel better. So that's fine. Folks, let's see what scores people are saying in the chat. There we go. Let's see. Danka said, going by what I saw last night and the lack of an autosave in the 6th title, a 5.5. Gozzo, 5.5. Celtic says, I feel this only got a 7.5. Dave Johnson says 6.5. Ben saying the same thing, 6.5. These 2-bit game devs. Drawn Unicycle, hello. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. Flame says a 6 out of 10. Chris, what do you think? We'll start with you. What do you think this got?
I'll go with a 6 as well.
Going for a 6 as well. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to try a 7.
Okay, going for a 7. Anybody else wants to get your score in chat? Now's the time to do it. This is Tomb Raiders 4, 5, and 6 Remastered, which came out on Friday, on Valentine's, for PC, PS4 and 5, Xbox Series X, S, and 1, and Nintendo Switch. And the last collection last year got a decent score. I think it got about a 7.5 or an 8, if my memory serves me correct. However, this one didn't fare as well. And I think because they're not as loved games as the others, and they are still a bit janky to play. And I'm going to say there was a lot of jank in the 6th one where my character got stuck in a fence. And I had to wiggle it out to get the camera angle to make it work because the character got physically stuck. So, unfortunately, it does drag the score down, and the reviews haven't been that great. They're still okay, but not great. And on average, this got a 5.5 out of 10.
Crikey.
Yeah. So, for the nostalgia value, I'd say get it, because then it's about 25 quid for the free games. 25 quid for the free games, which isn't bad if you think about it. But if you're not into these games, I wouldn't suggest it, because it'll probably drive you around the bend. Maybe try the free that came out last year. That's a lot better. So there you go. So Gozzo, well done. Danka, well done. You got it right. Gozzo says, I'll stick to the classic ones. They're much better. I agree. Ben was like, oof, 5.5. But there you go. So yeah, if you're a massive Tomb Raider fan, try it out. But if not, maybe not the one to go for in that respect. Let's move on to some gaming news. Over the weekend, we had the first playtests and public playtests of the brand new Elden Ring game, Elden Ring NeightReign, which was on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And I believe it was a bit of an odd thing, because normally with playtests, they set up at a time period, so you can go on, play it over a certain period of time. But what they did with this one is they did different slots on different days, and they were limited for certain hours. So it was like a very brief window of time you've got. And it was last Friday, Saturday, and the last sessions were on Sunday. They are looking at possibly doing some additional tests. But there's a reason for that. But before we talk about that, Dave tried it out, and I want to know what Dave's thoughts were on this. So Dave, tell us a little bit more of when you tried it, how you tried it, how you got on. Did it work? Did it not work?
Well, yeah, I tried it on the Saturday and Sunday. It worked fine for me. I didn't have a problem then, because that probably you're referring to was on the Friday, I think, with the first session. But yeah, when I played it, it worked fine. I had I think I played about 4 sessions all in. It's definitely interesting. I'm not 100% sold on it, but I still enjoyed what I was doing in it. It's just a different sort of Elden Ring experience. It's a lot more faster pace. You know, you sort of drop into the map with 2 of the players because it's set for 3 people, and you've just got to just shoot through as quick as you can. You know, there's not really any time to stop and think about the sort of the build you're going for. You just got to run across the map, you know, destroy some enemies, destroy some bosses, get the XP off them, get some weapons off them, quickly find like a site of grace where you just level up, and it's just a simple level increase. There's no strength or dexterity or any of that stuff. It's really streamlined. And then after about 15 minutes, you fight the end of day boss. If you beat that, rinse repeat on the second day, beat that one again, which I didn't manage to do. I managed to get to the second day boss. But if you beat the second day one, then you just go straight to the overall boss of the third day, which for the play test was like a sort of 3-headed sort of dog Cerberus type creature that actually splits into 3 separate dogs, you know, as part of its fight. I didn't get to that part though. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, just the speed that you've got to go through. As I say, you haven't got time to think about what you're really doing. At least I didn't anyway. And it took me a bit of time to sort of get back into the rhythm of playing Elden Ring, because I haven't played it for a while. Yeah. But, you know, I watched some playthroughs of sort of other people playing it, you know, 3 people who know each other well, spent shitloads of time in Elden Ring, and they were just going through, just rinsing the fucking bosses. Their health was coming off quick as you like. So that they knew exactly what to do. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what the game's like for people like that. You know, if they're that good already on the playtest, they'll probably get through like the main game pretty quickly. Quite quickly. To see what their incentive is, then go back and do it again, or will it just be a case of you're basically done? There's not really much. You've done it, but it is meant to have randomization to it when the full thing comes out. I can't say I really noticed much randomization in my 4 runs the other day, but that might just be because it was, you know, the initial test. Because it was the play test. Yeah, perhaps there wasn't much there, but we're just to find out a bit more about it as it goes forward. So I'm intrigued by it, but still not quite 100% sold on it. Okay, what format did you play it on? I was playing it on the PlayStation. Okay, you're playing it on PS5. It's interesting because apparently they had the most problems on the PlayStation tests, mainly on the Friday. As you said, it kind of got better. But apparently the first day was not good, and it couldn't hold the amount of people that wanted to try it. So you're either stuck in long queues or it was crashing. But they've said they're going to try and do another one, hopefully, for people that want to try it, and basically test how good the servers are, whether it can handle this amount of people playing it. But yeah, it's interesting. Again, I'm not a big Elden Ring fan, but it's interesting to see they're doing something different, because this is a multiplayer Elden Ring. But it is that thing of, once you complete it, what is the incentive to go back? Yeah, it's not like a games as a service type game. So it's not like continuous content coming out for years to come. I think, it'll be released as is. And I think there is some talk of some DLC, but again, not like games as a service type stuff. So we'll have to see. I mean, it'll take me a while to get through it, but for the teams of people that are really good, it will help playing as a proper team using voice chat. Because if you're playing as 3 randoms, there's no voice chat as far as I'm aware. Right. It's just gestures in the game, but you're not really going to use the gestures. I think you just got to hope one of the randoms kind of knows what they're doing, picks a point on the map with an icon, and you all just go and follow that. Otherwise, people will just go wandering off, get lost. Oh yeah, and then it'll all fall apart. Not survive at all. So I think some of your runs through it will depend who you get paired with, if you're not playing with a set team of your mates. Okay, all right. Chris, obviously, I know you said you're a fan of multiplayer games and stuff. Firstly, have you ever played Elden Ring?
This might sound blaspheming to some people. No, I have never touched one of them. While Dave was speaking, I was desperately trying to Google if it's somehow connected to the Elder Scrolls, which I also didn't touch. I'm a sci-fi guy. I'm sorry. Yeah. In my world, there are fantasy people and sci-fi people. Maybe what's it called? Split. Split fiction. Yeah. Will probably try to lure me into doing some fantasy, but I'm sorry. I know it has a huge fan base, but I never touched any of those Elden Ring. That's fine. Don't worry. I have never played Elden Ring ever. And it's funny, they announced this, and I'm not interested in it. But I think from a point of view,
that they're adding like a multiplayer game to it, I think is quite interesting because it means it's not just a solo thing, something that a couple of people can play. But I guess, like Dave says, it's what longevity it's got, how long. Because if you play it and you complete it in a weekend, was it worth it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, but we shall see. We shall see. But it's nice to see they're doing something different, so with it. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, as we get more news, we will talk about it on future shows. So let's go to, if you go, what's it say? It says, if you change the game's title to Elden Ring, then it's more fitting for me. Thank you, Dave. Yes, the OAP edition. I will be playing that. There you go. The chances of me playing an Elden Ring game are about as low as me trying to claim that I am 21 again. So there you go. So let's move on. We have got our final 2 games of the night. So we are going to go look at this again. 2 games that came out on Valentine's. This one came out on PC, Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And this one is called the After Love EP. Let's have a look at the trailer for this game.
Kata-kata darimu tentang mimpi yang kau tuju, semua terasa jauh, juga terasa suka, sampai kini kau tak ada. Namun ku tahu kau harapkan aku untuk ku melanjutkan kisahmu. Apakah ku salah bila ku tak pernah merasa mampu untuk jalankan cinta yang ku inginkan dan yang ku mimpikan sampai akhir waktu ku pulangkan. Tujuan jalanku menuju cakrawala aku jalan, akankah kau tunggu kehadiranku di sana? Jalanku menuju cakrawala aku jalan, akankah kau tunggu kehadiranku di sana? Kembali ku merasakan.
There you go, folks. That is the After Love EP, which came out on Friday, and it did state that it was kind of a tribute to one of the people that made the Coffee Talk games. If you've ever played Coffee Talk, I quite like those games. Played them, and this is kind of like a homage to that. But Dave, tell us a little bit more about this because it looks like there's different elements of this game.
Yeah, that's right. So in this game, you're playing as a character called Rami, who a year prior to the events of this game, his girlfriend passed away. So he's like spent a year trying to sort of get over her death and to try and deal with this. He's also part of a band, and like his bandmates, they've been patient with him, trying to wait for him to get over this, but they do want him to come back to the band so that they can try and move the band forward, get some record deals and stuff like that. And so for the game, you're going to be playing as Rami, trying to move forward with your life. It's set in Jakarta, I believe, and gameplay wise, it's a mix of like visual novel. Then it's got some sort of more sort of narrative exploration stuff where you're walking through the city, talking to people, and it's got a bit of rhythm action in there as well. You can see those like sections where you're playing in the band. So it looks pretty cool. I like the art style it's gone for.
Yeah.
That looks really quite cool. Looks like it might be quite a nice game to play. It's quite an interesting sort of story it's trying to tell.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on this one?
I also like the art style. I like the palette. Usually I'm not that music started. I was looking on the Steam page of the game because I thought it was only out on the Switch, but it's also on Steam. Normally, this wouldn't be my kind of game, but it looked really intriguing. I'd like to check it out. So.
Yeah. No, look, I like the look of this. I'll be honest. Dave says, I reckon it will tug on the heartstrings. It probably will. It's probably one of those really sad games. So I know the Coffee Talk games are really clever and have multiple endings, and some of it can be funny, some of it can be quite sad. So, yeah, this could be really good. Folks, get your scores in now. This is the After Love EP, which came out on Friday for PC, Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. We've got some scores already. Pretty much everyone's saying the same thing. Danka says 7. Dave says 7. Gozzo says 7. So everyone's saying 7. Chat, get your scores in now. Flame saying 7 as well. Dave, we'll start with you. What do you reckon to this one?
I'll go for an 8 for this one.
Going for an 8. Okay. And Chris, what do you reckon?
I'll also go for an 8.
Going for an 8 as well. Okay. If we got anybody else in chat with scores, Dave says, please don't let it be 7. That's too many shout outs. Well, we shall see. I'm going to drop this. I would like to see it get an 8. You can easily manage that then. It's an easy shout outs. I can tell you, unfortunately for Mr. Johnson, that it did get a 7 out of 10.
That'll keep him busy.
It'll keep you busy. So, Dave Johnson, if you do the shout outs for those, and then I'll do your shout out, buddy. So you get a shout out. So I'll let you do them. But congratulations to Dave, Flame, Gozzo, Danka for getting that right. Well done. And I'll just let him do those. And then we'll move on to our final game. Iqual has now 2 right. Oh, he's got to turn up before the end of the show. And we are literally... Oh, and there he is. Iqual is there. So can we give Iqual, you got 2 right so far with your 7 out of 10. So good evening, Iqual. Can we give him one shout out now, and we'll give him another shout out after the next trailer for the game. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get Mr. Dave Johnson's shout out done as it loads up. So they go, what does Dave mean? Keep me out of trouble? Is he suggesting that I am trouble? I mean,
who knows? Could be.
It's open to interpretation. There you go. Let's give Dave Johnson a shout out as well, because he got that right. There you go. Let's look at our last game of tonight, folks. This is a sequel. This also came out on Valentine's. This is on PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. Not currently available on Xbox. But let's have a look at this. This, you might remember we did review a couple of years ago, the first one of these. But this is Legend of Heroes, Tales of Daybreak 2. Let's have a look at this.
Target confirmed. Moving to apprehend. What the hell?
So, long story short, I've shot to the top of the suspect list of the CID and the Bracer Guild.
I have a personal stake in this. After all, a dear friend of mine is being caught in the crossfire of this whole ordeal.
Just wondering who's really the roundabout one here.
So I'm going to give you a hand, whether you like it or not.
Now, devour them all! Start Corrode! The Corrental's online!
Elaine!
The Oct-Genesis. What do you think, therefore?
We have a favor to ask. Is that alright?
Dummy, look down!
I have not realized I would be unable to track
Your existence is a plague on this world, and that's a sin I just can't abide by.
You have been deemed a heretic.
This newest carnival will make for a perfect, sensational crime that surpasses even the likes of pandemonium.
We're up against pros here. They're after us, not them. Your eyes were clouded. Thus, you chose a doomed course.
Limited? You're better at this right now than I've ever been.
Don't go forgetting the important shit in life.
There's no reason for us to fight. I've heard about him. He's the foremost fighter.
Out of here, now! That's an order!
I really don't like it when my opponent pulls back on me. Let's shut them up for good.
We're gonna blow you sky high!
I've agreed to death. No self-respecting spriggan would walk away without paying him back.
You've done more than enough, so rest easy.
What about our promise? You said we'd stick together to the end.
That's the only way I can atone for what I've done.
It's time to correct the course of history!
Maybe I am a heretic. Instead,
Maggie, take this!
I refuse to let the Genesis bring any more grief and disaster to others.
The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak 2. Available now.
PlayStation.
There you go. It always seems to be that when we do have RPGs on the show, they take up the most time in terms of trailers. Like we get 3 minutes, we've had 4 minutes. I think the longest one we've ever played is about 5 minutes. I can't do a trailer longer than 5 minutes, to be honest. But yeah, so obviously there's a couple of people in chat that are like, oh, this is my kind of game. A couple of people are like, I like RPGs, but this isn't grabbing me. Dan says the PlayStation noise. That was for Dan Game Tank. Yes, bless him. Get well soon, Dan, if you watch this on catch up. But Dave, tell us a bit more about this one, because obviously we're very familiar with this series. We've seen these games before on this show.
Oh, you say we're very familiar, but for me, most JRPGs just blur into one. I don't remember looking at the first one, I'm afraid. And looking at the trailer for this one, I was just waiting for it to get to the end. Because God, it doesn't have to go on. I kind of find that it's throwing words upon screen that kind of mean nothing to most people. Unless you know the series, the words don't mean a thing. It's showing you there. It looks, like to me, like pretty much any other JRPG. There's in this particular one, there's a series of murders that have gone on in the capital city, and a crimson beast has been sighted at the murder scene. So that brings in a number of people from different factions to try and track it down, solve the mystery of why these murders occurred. But it's generally just going to involve you have your main character, you'll gather a party as you go through, and there's going to be a lot of probably like sort of open world type stuff to go through and monsters to fight out on the fields to get through the story. I think you're going to have to like the series to really be interested in this one, because probably if you're not much of a fan, it's not really going to pull you in. Right, I couldn't really see anything in the trailer that would really pull me in. So no, it's definitely not one for me, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right. Chris, JRPGs?
No, it's not for me as well. Probably nothing to add besides what Dave said. Is the art style is not my cup of tea. Those over-the-top monsters are not my thing. Yes, those games all blur into one for me. So if people enjoy it, good for them, go for it. But this will probably not connect. This didn't connect in any way to me. Yeah. I felt like, I gotta take a look into this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we obviously we get a lot of JRPGs on this show. Obviously, we try and cover all different games, but it seems to be that we have one every week. And I'm surprised that I remembered this one. I couldn't tell you anything about the first game, but I do remember that we talked about the first game. But I'm just, it's not.
I forgot this one's name right already. What was it? Like a lot of words. A title, subtitle, 2, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There was a 2 in there. That's all right.
That's pretty much. But yeah, for the people who do enjoy it, again, fair enough, but just not for me. Dave says,
there seem to be enough people enjoying it, so they made part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That says something. And it's like a brilliant marketing scheme to tricking people into, hey, you missed the brilliant first part, and we're just pretending that this was a huge hit, and so at least this time don't miss it. So maybe that's a scheme. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. The RPG fans that like these, let us know whether it is good or whether it was absolute rubbish. Let us know. I agree with Chris and Dave. Also, boo Dave. iCloud says, sounds like a JRPG version of Taggart. 7 out of 10. Okay. Let's go with your final scores, people. Get your scores in. Gozzo is saying a 7.5. Danker is saying a 7.5. They've been neck and neck tonight with their scores on this one. Chaotic is saying a 7. Flame is saying a 7.5. Dave said, did I mention boo Dave?
He did.
I think, yes, there you go. Just to clarify.
A couple of times there.
Just a couple of times, boo Dave. He's trying to scare you like that Alien game. That's what it is.
He just goes on, doesn't he?
Yeah. Bit like that trailer. Just went on. Carried on. Just
didn't know when to stop.
Yeah, didn't know when to stop. Dave says a 6 out of 10 for this one. Chris, for the final game, let's start with you. What do you think this might have got?
The first one was probably a very good 8, and this time they nailed it, I'm sure. 8.5.
8.5. Okay. And Dave, what say you, good sir?
Oh, I'll try 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Last chance, folks. I've got to say this whole title. This is Legend of Heroes, Tales of Daybreak 2, which came out last Friday on PS4, 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. And I can tell you, yes, Chris has gone for a higher score, so we'll see. I can tell you that this got 7.5 out of 10. Chris was close, but Dave has got his first one right tonight.
I only got one.
I know. Now, normally Dave's quite good, and he's got, but you know, tonight's caught him out tonight. So, obviously, exclamation Dave in chat, show your appreciation. Also, we'll do something like Flame. Congratulations, you got it right as well. Good on you, buddy. Gozzo, obviously, Danker. Why am I not surprised? Them two got it right. They are normally our high scoring gamer geeks, as I like to refer them to, because they don't always get it right, but I'd say 8 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10, they're pretty bang on the money, so they do pretty well. So well done, guys, for getting that right. Now, obviously, we can't shout out Dave over here because he doesn't have a channel. So just for Chris, we're going to do this. We like to do a shout out in a different way. Dave, I think I know what you're going to choose, but how would you like me to do your shout out?
I was going to say do some spinning on the chair.
Let's do some spinning. Okay, so let's just make sure I don't knock my microphone over. But here we go. For Dave, and I'm not going to do 7.5 times. We'll do a few times, all right? But here we go. 3, 2, 1. Dave!
Very nice.
There you go. That's how we do a shout out for Dave, ladies and gentlemen. Were you impressed, Chris? You seem impressed.
I was looking your stream the other day, and right as you were doing this, and I was like, "Oh my God, what I got myself into!" now I get it. Okay, now golf applause. Now where I understand it, I like it. Super.
Thank you. But there you go. Congratulations, Dave, for getting that right. Dave Johnson says, I still don't understand how Dave continues to laugh at you spinning in a chair. It's been a long-running joke. Like, we've done 204 episodes, and I think it came into play.
It's just pity laughs now.
It is. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Dave says, Chris now runs away. I don't blame him if he ran away after seeing that. There you go. But there we go. So that's it, folks. That is our show. We're finishing a little bit earlier tonight, only because slightly less news stories and slightly less games out this week. However, next week's show, we have got a wonderful streamer all the way from the Netherlands. We've got Beowulf on the show. We are going to be talking about Avowed, the new big game from Sydney, the big RPG game, which is looking good. That's all I'm going to say with that, which came out today. And we have probably got the craziest named game of this year so far with Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Yes, that comes out on Friday, and we'll be talking about that on next Tuesday's show. These games are getting weirder. We've got Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Yes, that's happening. So that will be on next week's show. Don't forget, tomorrow night will be our community night, and we will be playing at 8:30. We'll be playing some Gartic Phone. So we'll be playing some Chinese Whispers, doing some bad drawings. Just join in. It's absolutely free to play. You can join in the game. We'll be doing that from 8:30 till 11:30 tomorrow night. I would like to bring your attention to, before we finish the show, again, I'm going to bring this up on screen. We've got the wonderful Chris from Thumb Cramp. We played his game back in December when it released. And right now, it is in the sale on Steam for literally less than £6. There's the link in the chat. You've got no excuse. Go download it. Go buy it. If enough of you buy it, we will do a community night of it. We did a community night back in December. It's a great game. It's great fun. I'll play the little trailer in the background again so you can see it. We had great fun back in December. Chris, I wish you all the luck with the updates and the stuff from the bucket list going into the game. Please do keep us updated with what you're doing. There is the Steam link right there. Please do go support Chris and his first game. We would greatly appreciate it. Anything else you'd like to say, Chris, about the game, or anything else?
Yes, two things, in fact. One, there is a demo, so you don't have to buy the cat in the bag, or how it's called, so you can get a demo. It has like enough content to have like a couple of days fun with it. It's like not a short demo. You can have like all the core gameplay in it. And as a special offer, for as long as the tutorial isn't out, if you want to learn how to play the game, you can write me an email and I will join you for a quick match, and so you can learn all the ins and outs of the game from this bold guy himself.
Brilliant. Well, what I'll do, because I've got your email, Chris, I will share that in my Discord after the show. And if anyone wants to reach out to Chris and try the tutorial with him, we'll do that. And if a number of you go and buy the game and want to play it, we will do another community night, and we'll get Chris to come and join us and play some games with us as well, because that was great fun when we did that back in December. Dave said, that's amazing. Thank you, Chris. That's a very kind offer of you. So thank you, Chris. That's greatly appreciated. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being a wonderful guest, Chris. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Again, as always, thank you to my co-host who knows the most, the wonderful Mr. David Jones. Thank you. Again, we shall be seeing you. No, you cannot attack Dave. Dave. Sounds weird when you say two Daves. Behave, Dave. We'll see you back next week with some more games. And thank you to everyone in chat this evening. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all those that guessed the scores, and congratulations to all those ones that got their answers right. Thank you to my mods, and big shout out to Dave stepping in tonight, because I know he can't always do it. And obviously to Sophie, I know she wasn't very well, but thank you to Sophie and Dave especially for doing the shout outs and keeping the chat in order and harassing Dave as well. So we are going to do a raid. Let's see who's on. And then we will take our wonderful audience over to some other wonderful streamers. So let's see who's on. There's a lot of people on tonight. There's a lot of people on tonight. Let's see. I'm just working my way down. Now talking to people like indie games. Someone that we are going to see at the Debug event on Friday. What is she playing? I'm not actually sure what she's playing. She's actually doing puzzles. She's actually doing a jigsaw puzzle game. She's playing fun little indie games. This one's a jigsaw puzzle. This is Ember Shadow, who was at last year's Debug Awards, and she'll be there again. I know. She's playing a puzzle game with ducks. So we'll go check that out. So we're going to do that raid. That raid will start when the end credits have rolled. And there you go. Is Debug being streamed live? I believe it's being streamed live on Twitch and YouTube. Definitely their YouTube channel. I believe they're not doing the daytime stuff. That will appear in the YouTube channel. But the evening stream, I think, is 8 o'clock live on YouTube. I will get details and I'll try and post it in the Discord on the day. But I think it's 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock live. And obviously, you can be there live in person like I am. But I will try and put the details once I know. I will speak to Debug Dan and get the full details so that people can watch it as well. And all that leaves for me to say is, wherever you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening. And we shall see you back here tomorrow at 8:30 in the evening for some Gartic Phone. And from myself, Chris and Dave, thank you so much for watching. And we'll say good night. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.